claims his defense team is delaying
My husband. I have to tell my daughter every day and explain to her why daddy's not coming.
Something in this case didn't just change, it exploded. The days are getting more stressful. People online are talking louder and louder, asking one big question. Are we hearing the full truth, or only the version someone wants us to hear? The defense keeps pushing the court dates back again and again. Some people think this isn't just normal waiting, they believe it might be a plan to control the timing. Then something happened that nobody expected. A video from the past started spreading online. It showed Erika Kirk and her mother Lori looking like they were celebrating with a man that many people think looks a lot like Tyler Robinson, the same person accused in connection with Charlie Kirk's death. Once that clip hit social media, everything got even more intense. Soon after, Erika filed papers asking for a speedy trial in Tyler's case. That surprised many people, because earlier she had publicly said she forgave him. So now everyone is asking, what changed? And another big question has returned too. Why hasn't there been clear progress on the financial audit of TPUSA, something Charlie reportedly wanted before he died? Legal experts have explained that under Utah law and the U.S. Constitution, the right to a speedy trial usually belongs to the defendant, not the victim's family. It's meant to protect the accused. That's why Erika's request made people debate even more. Some think she wants closure and justice quickly. Others believe she may want the case finished fast to stop more questions from growing. The timing, especially right after the resurfaced video, made people even more suspicious. If the man in the clip really is Tyler Robinson, people wonder, how would Erika and her family have been connected to him years earlier? If it isn't Tyler, then who is it? The video appears to be from New Year's Eve 2018. Tyler Robinson was born in 2003, meaning he would have been only 15 years old then. That fact alone has made people question if it could even be him. Some online users suggest it might actually be Erika's former partner, Ben Cat Phillips, which adds even more confusion. At the same time, many people are questioning Tyler's role in the case. How did he become the main person accused? Were there connections that haven't been explained publicly? Others strongly disagree and say there is no real proof of secret links. The internet is deeply divided. Another video also started circulating again, a body cam clip from 2022 involving Tyler. In it, Tyler seemed awkward, nervous, and unsure. Many viewers say he doesn't look like someone cold and calculating. Instead, he seems inexperienced, overwhelmed, and uncomfortable around police. People have studied the clip closely, his tense posture, his hesitant voice, his nervous movements. Some commentators say he seems more socially awkward than dangerous. One behavioral analyst even suggested Tyler looked easily influenced by strong authority figures. That made the public debate even bigger. Then people noticed Erika's change in tone. Right after the tragedy, she said, "That young man, I forgive him." Now she is pushing for a fast trial and criticizing delays. That shift has made many people ask, what caused her to change so much? Some think it's a natural move toward accountability. Others think it feels planned. Attention also turned to Erika's lawyer, Jeffrey Neman. People online reacted strongly because he previously represented Alex Acosta, the prosecutor connected to the controversial Jeffrey Epstein plea deal. Of course, a lawyer's past clients don't automatically mean wrongdoing, but in a case this serious, people say optics matter. Then more questions followed. High-level lawyers are expensive, so people are wondering, how is Erika paying for this? Personal money? Donors? Organizational funds? There is no public proof of misconduct, but lack of clarity invites speculation. And then came one of the biggest flashpoints, Erika's motion demanding a speedy trial. Legal analysts point out speedy trials are usually meant to protect defendants, not victims' families. So people are asking, what is the real goal here? Some say it's about justice and moving forward. Others say timing can shape public opinion as much as courtroom evidence. Fast trials also give defense teams less time to prepare. Prosecutors often have months to build cases before charges are filed, so speeding things up may create an imbalance. Another major reason timing matters: long delays create space. Space for more documents to appear, space for journalists to investigate, space for new witnesses or information. In big cases, time doesn't calm things down, it increases attention. And now, more focus has shifted to TPUSA itself. Some online voices keep asking about finances. Charlie reportedly wanted a financial audit before his death. A former employee, Joshua Peterson, claimed there was an inner circle working against Charlie. He also claimed there was a mysterious stock market branch of TPUSA that received millions of dollars. These claims have not been fully verified, but they spread widely online. Other researchers have looked at public tax filings. One commentator said that out of about $8.5 million in revenue, $5.2 million went to salaries, $2.5 million went to conferences and events. Some say that's normal for a national political nonprofit. Salaries are expensive, events cost money, staff and outreach require resources. Others questioned whether so much spending was going inward instead of toward the mission. When viewed as percentages, critics argued that more than half of incoming funds were tied to payroll, and nearly another third went to large-scale branding events. This raised a deeper question: what measurable impact is TPUSA producing relative to its financial scale? Supporters argued TPUSA is building youth engagement and long-term political infrastructure. Critics argued the financial structure appeared more focused on internal expansion and visibility than grassroots activism. Executive compensation became another point of scrutiny. Public filings reportedly show several senior figures earning between $200,000 and $400,000 annually. Some say this aligns with leadership pay at large nonprofits. Others believe compensation at that level invites examination, especially alongside heavy spending on conferences and branding. Hiring patterns also drew attention. Online commentators pointed out that influential roles seemed occupied by individuals with long-standing personal connections. Some interpret that as trust within a founder-led organization. Others argued tightly connected leadership networks can limit independent oversight. Once again, the facts may be public, but interpretation remains deeply divided. Another report circulating online suggested TPUSA held tens of millions of dollars invested in securities. At one point, roughly $63 million of assets were reportedly invested. A later filing reportedly listed around $79 million in total assets. These figures alone do not prove wrongdoing, but they amplified the central tension: growth, oversight, optics, and timing. Some argued investing reserves is a smart nonprofit strategy to ensure stability. Others questioned why a grassroots political movement would allocate such a large portion of assets to market investments rather than direct activism. This led to further questions: who oversees these investments? Who controls the money? Where does the value go? Some allegations suggest Charlie may not have had full visibility into certain financial decisions, but without sworn evidence, these remain speculation. Still, as the organization's assets grow, so do the questions. Now, two major stories are unfolding at once. One is the criminal case and the legal process. The other is about financial oversight, governance, and transparency inside TPUSA. Until clear evidence answers these questions, both narratives will keep growing. One thing is undeniable: this story is not fading. Public attention is increasing, the questions keep multiplying, and scrutiny shows no signs of slowing down. This conversation is far from over.
They alleged Charlie wanted clearer documentation. They claimed he was encouraged to focus on public appearances, while a smaller group handled financial strategy behind the scenes. These remain allegations, But combined with rising asset totals and renewed calls for transparency, they kept the discussion alive. At this stage, two parallel narratives continued unfolding. One track centered on procedural justice and the criminal trial. The other centered on governance, financial oversight, and transparency within TPUSA. Observers noted that Erika now occupies both a legal and leadership role, meaning reputational pressures are immense. Some view her actions as stabilizing the organization during crisis. Others caution that sustained scrutiny could affect donor confidence and long-term support. There are claims donor enthusiasm has cooled. Others insist support remains strong. Without verified, updated donation data, these remain anecdotal. Still, perception alone can shape momentum. Even among those uncertain about Tyler Robinson's role, many agree on one thing: unanswered questions persist. Timeline inconsistencies, incomplete documentation, gaps in publicly available clarity. Some emphasize investigations take time and not everything can be disclosed immediately. Others argue greater transparency would reduce speculation rather than fuel it. For now, the public weighs competing portrayals: justice versus optics, delegation versus secrecy, growth versus governance. Until definitive evidence emerges, both narratives will continue advancing side by side. And what remains undeniable is this: the story is not fading. Public attention continues to grow, the questions keep multiplying, and scrutiny shows no signs of slowing. This conversation is far from over. As this case continues to unfold, one thing has become impossible to ignore: the story is not slowing down. In fact, it is growing bigger by the day. What began as a tragic and shocking event has now expanded into something far more complicated, a situation filled with unanswered questions, intense public debate, and increasing scrutiny from every direction. At the center of it all remains the criminal case involving Tyler Robinson. The courtroom process is still moving forward, but many people feel the pace has become a story of its own. Delays, extensions, new motions, and now Erika Kirk's request for a speedy trial. To some, that request represents a desire for justice and closure, a wish to move forward, a hope to finally reach an answer. But to others, it raises deeper questions about timing, strategy, and narrative. Because in high-profile cases, timing is never just timing. It shapes what the public sees. It shapes what the media focuses on. It shapes what information has time to surface and what might remain hidden. And that is why so many people are watching closely. The resurfaced footage, the online speculation, the growing division between competing interpretations, all of it has created an atmosphere where trust and doubt exist side by side. Some believe the legal system will uncover the truth in time. Others fear the truth may remain incomplete unless transparency increases. And beyond the courtroom, another conversation has grown louder: the financial and governance questions surrounding TPUSA. Public filings, asset totals, salary allocations, investment holdings. None of these alone prove wrongdoing, but they have sparked a larger debate about oversight, accountability, and the responsibility that comes with managing millions of dollars in public-facing organizations. Many observers believe an independent audit would settle questions. Others argue that speculation can spiral unfairly without verified evidence. Both sides agree on one reality: the lack of clarity leaves room for endless theories, and theories multiply in silence. This is why transparency matters, not because it guarantees wrongdoing, but because it prevents uncertainty from becoming chaos. It is also why the public remains so invested, because this case is no longer just a courtroom story. It has become a larger reflection of trust. Trust in institutions, trust in leadership, trust in what we are being told, and trust in what may still be missing. As of now, two narratives continue moving forward at the same time. One is about justice, the legal process, the trial, the evidence, the verdict that will eventually come. The other is about governance, what happens behind the scenes, how organizations operate, how money is managed, and how accountability is enforced. Until definitive answers arrive, both tracks will continue intersecting in the public eye. And that brings us to the most important point of all. This is not the moment for blind certainty, and it is not the moment for careless accusation. This is the moment for careful attention, for patience, for critical thinking, for demanding facts over rumors. Because real justice cannot be built on speculation, and real truth cannot survive in secrecy. So the call to action is simple but powerful. Stay informed, but stay grounded. Ask questions, but demand evidence. Pay attention, but avoid rushing to judgment. If you're watching this story unfold, remember that online narratives can grow faster than reality. A clip can be misleading, a resemblance is not proof, a theory is not a verdict, and public pressure should never replace due process. At the same time, accountability is essential, transparency is essential, and when questions continue multiplying, responsible leadership should understand why people want clarity. Justice requires truth, and truth requires openness. So as this case continues, the real challenge for everyone watching is this: to remain engaged without becoming consumed, to remain skeptical without becoming cynical, to seek answers without fueling misinformation. Because in the end, what matters most is not the loudest narrative, it's the verified one. This story is far from over. The scrutiny is not fading. The questions are still growing, and the world will be watching what happens next.